So, yeah, the title is super long. I'm gonna read it again. Napoleon Burgers, Drunk Robots, Scary Cheese, Kick-Ass Youth, Je suis Charlie, Organic Comic Books, and other ways to unfuck Europe with French creativity. So I wanted this presentation to be local, okay? Because I was asking myself why, going around and talking about creativity in general, I prefer to give you just my own experience. And by the way, I believe in local identities, local initiatives. And that's why also I think that, for example, your country has a great role to play. So every one of us has a great role to play, and start from what you have, from what you believe you have to offer to the others. You're gonna see it's a very intuitive, a little bit chaotic presentation. I'm not very scientific, so and of course I found all the analysis and data and neuroscience insights very interesting, and I think that are very useful for us. But now you're going to have something that is a little bit more poetical, I would say. So let's start. Here in the land where nobody gives a fuck. This is a quote for Kate Tempest, that is a very famous UK hip-hop artist, and it comes from a song that is called "Europe is Lost." Okay, and I wanted. It's a very French presentation, but you know, I wanted to start with a quote from a UK artist, because now they are out of Europe, so it gives us, the poor French a chance to play a role, probably. Huh? So I don't know. I don't think that. Here in the land where nobody gives a fuck, it's the best way to define Europe today, okay? And I'm gonna let Jean-Paul Belmondo and a splendid actress of Breathless, the film from Godard, to answer, okay?
Mais non, mon coco.
Okay, I'm gonna play it again because I like it a lot.
Mais non, mon coco.
It's just, mais no, okay, well, I don't think we're so lost, that Europe is so lost. And I'm going to show you the first example. It's a collective that is called Freegan Pony, okay? And I don't know if you know the Freegan tendencies, but it's just basically doing kitchen, doing cuisine with all the trash, all the food that is forgot and trashed every day in the supermarkets, okay? And they have opened, because it's Paris, so they have opened a restaurant. And just a quick video to explain the idea.
Bienvenue dans la cuisine du futur, je suis Mathilde Bonnefée, chef au Freegan Pony, la première cantine participative Freegan d'Europe. Le fréganisme consiste à ne cuisiner que des aliments invendus destinés à finir injustement à la poubelle. C'est un mouvement qui dénonce le gaspillage alimentaire et la pollution. Il faut savoir que chaque année en Europe, 89 millions de tonnes de nourriture sont gaspillées et une fois jetées, ces invendus continuent d'émettre des gaz à effet de serre. On estime qu'ils sont responsables de plus de 3 gigatonnes d'émissions par an. Au Freegan Pony, nous cherchons donc à agir à notre échelle. Nous imaginons quotidiennement notre menu en fonction des légumes invendus que l'on récupère le jour même au marché de Rungis. Le client, lui, paye ce qu'il veut.
Okay, so, I'm not saying that crisis is not here. Huh? Probably I'm even say that crisis is permanent, okay? But what I'm saying is that probably it's good news, okay? And I'm saying that because I'm Italian, so I've studied a lot of unuseful ancient stuff like Greek or Latin, and if you study the meaning of crisis, turning point, okay, it's not negative. It's just a moment where you have to reinvent yourself. And probably, for example, as the Freegan example shows it, you can start from a food problem and start to find a new way to have a French cuisine and a new way to have restaurants. Huh? Then, of course, there is another more precise meaning of crisis these banking panics, disorderly market, stock market collapses, bursting of bubbles, currency collapses, sovereign defaults, something that looks a little bit like that. And this is the fact that we are poorer than ever. So, of course, I mean, we have the first meaning of crisis, maybe on occasion, but then if we go to the economical side, at least in Europe, we are all together now. I mean, and it's not like the West and the East. That's very important for me. I mean, being here and telling you, for me, we are all together. And we are all together in a very difficult situation. Or maybe that's a second opportunity. And now I'm gonna give you an example that is quite that is very, very French. Okay, take Napoleon. Okay, you know the Napoleon of the stereotypes, the white horse, the glory, and so on. But the reality of Napoleon, the reality is that Napoleon had a very poor army. Okay, at the very beginning, just after the French Revolution, where France was, I mean, the country of the human rights and all the new ideas of enlightenment, they started to spread around Europe with no shoes, no trousers. It was a disaster. And I've written it down because I don't want to be misunderstood. Despite Napoleon's dictatorial nature, I'm not doing an apology of Napoleon. His angry army spread the humanistic values of French Revolution all over Europe. And what I'm saying, I'm going to let Napoleon comment that.
Oh, merde.
That, as simple as that. What I'm saying is just that the hungry challenger wins, okay? For me now, and this is very intuitive truth. It's just the fact that, okay, we are all together, we are all in this crisis. Let's try to take the positive, the meaning of opportunity, of rebirth, of new challenges, and let's try to be hungry, okay? How? Okay, how we can win? How we can win in creativity? Okay, I believe in creativity. I believe that we can do a lot just with new ideas, okay, new concepts. I'm gonna give you, and of course it's ironical about golden, the 7 golden rules of crisis creativity, okay? And then normally here there is a big wow behind. The first one is called burgers, okay? And I don't know if all of you know that, but in France, Burger King is a challenger, okay? McDonald's is the king, and Burger King is the prince that would like to win, okay? And so one day, McDonald's decided to do that. That is basically showing that there is a McDonald's restaurant everywhere in France, and it is very close, and that to go to Burger King, you have to drive 259 kilometers, okay? So what Burger King decided to do is the video that I'm going to show you now.
Bonjour,
Bonjour.
qu'est-ce que je vous sers?
Un café, s'il vous plaît.
Un petit ou un grand?
Grand, ouais. On a de la route, en fait.
Voilà.
Et merci. Voilà. C'était pas si long en plus.
Pas du tout.
Okay, so what Yeah, they're very cool. What is interesting here is not only the idea, but the way they have done it. Basically, they've done it very quickly. They had the McDonald's ad out on Wednesday. They founded the idea on Thursday. They decided together with the client to do it, and that's very important, the proximity with the client, and the fact that you can share powerful ideas and make them happen very quickly. They shoot it during the weekend on Sunday, guerrilla shoot, like you rent the van, you go, and then it was out on Monday, and millions of views, and another very hard situation for McDonald's in France. So what I'm saying here is just, please be quick and dirty, okay? This is the first rule that I want to share with you guys.
Très bien.
Très bien, he says. So, okay, second chapter, drunk robots. This is a little bit more serious. You imagine probably France like that.
This, madame, is Versailles.
And in a certain way, is it true, okay? But it's not just like that. You're gonna see how. You imagine also Louis XIII as that, of course. This is his portrait. But then maybe you can just take off the wig. Just do a little effort. Imagine now the wig disappearing, and you have Louis XIII Malkovich. What I'm saying is just, guys, tradition, the very proper, profound values of a nation can transform into innovation, okay? And that's exactly what Fred and Farid have done with the Louis XIII 100 Years Project.
The concept was we would make a film that wouldn't be seen for 100 years. My name was John.
So, what I want to say is, please be visionary. You can work with a brand that is a very old brand of cognac and try to celebrate the 100 years of a kind of cognac and be very French and very traditional. At the same time, you can imagine how the future is going to look like, okay? And you can imagine a film that no one, probably of us, except if they invent sort of eternity pills, is going to see, okay? And that's very important. Be visionary for me is not just be inspired or try to interpretate the trends of the technology, innovation, data, and so on. Be visionary, it's an attitude. It's way farther than that. It's a sort of spirit, okay? That's the second rule. Thank you. You can call it also take off the wig, because it's the concept starts with that. Okay, third chapter, French love. You all probably imagine French love like that. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna talk about Brigitte Bardot. Sorry for all of you friends. But I'm gonna talk of something way more serious. You know, this year in France, there was the first law penalizing clients of prostitution that was voted. There was a huge debate because France is quite a macho country. And so a lot of people think that it's a manly right to have prostitutes and that tradition justifies it. And that despite of many studies that proves, and also, I mean, the daily newspapers that proves that prostitution world is super aggressive and criminal, and a lot of prostitutes are a victim of that, okay? And that's a project of McCann Paris, so pardon my auto-promotion. I wanted to show you to you, also because once again, it's interesting to see how we managed to do it. I mean, oh, thank you. And it's all true, by the way, because every time that I speak with people, it sounds like the call center, is it real, is it not real? Yeah, we have done a call center at the agency for 1 month with all ex-prostitutes that were volunteer, because we have made it with no time, because we just arrived at the agency, and it was this association that was asking us to act for the lobbying, for the vote of the law. So we speed up with no money. It's all volunteering. It's all like trying to find the energies where we could find them. And with not even Facebook, because we have done it with this great team of French creatives. They are not even on Facebook, and they managed to start to learn to create a website and so on, all in a few weeks. So they kindly accepted to do this photo. That is not very very kind to them, but I wanted to show them because I'm proud of them. So what I want to say is, whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now, okay? No matter what, no matter the time, no matter the money, no matter the people. Do it, okay? So, third rule, be fearless. Fuck Fox News. Okay, this is a very funny chapter. You all know the theory of Fox News, this very famous American television on the no-go zones in France. I'm gonna let you see a short video to remind you the story.
Are afraid to tread or are prohibited altogether from entering. Chief Washington correspondent James Rosen tells us tonight the no-go zones are providing extremists with easy access to new recruits.
Around the outer limits of Paris and across Greater France, home to Europe's largest Muslim population, the French government over the last 2 decades has blocked out some 750 areas, known officially as sensitive urban zones, blighted areas intended to receive economic aid, but known informally as no-go zones, where central state authority is diminished, sometimes to the point of zero.
They're essentially...
Okay, so what I want to say is, one is completely fake. These no-go zones don't exist. By the way, I wanted to do a collection of myself in plenty of pictures of myself in plenty of no-go zones, but I ran out of time the next time. So the no-go zones for me and for many French and Parisians are the places to be, okay? And it's important here is that there is someone, and you're gonna discover whom, that has, let's say, discovered the climax of the no-go zone. That is this village that is called Pantin, that is outside Paris. So imagine if in Paris you have already no-go zones where you can't go because there is no law. Imagine outside the city, in the suburbs. It has to be awful, at least for Fox News. But there is someone that has thought that probably there is space and opportunity once again, crisis, so opportunity to build something. And I'm talking, of course, about BUTC, okay? BUTC, you all know the French agency, it's super famous, and I mean, they're worldly known for the level of their creativity. But outside that, they've invested this building that is called the Magasins Généraux in Pantin, so inside a no-go zone, and they've created the Agency of the Future. The Agency of the Future, it's first of all a startup incubator, okay? Startup incubator, it means that startups in Paris have free space to go create ideas, and then they can share it with the agency. They have beehives. I don't know if you know that bees are disappearing, so why not starting to create beehives on the roof of an agency? They have cafe, concert hall, of course, and they have also sustainable transport system over the water, okay? And I know that you're thinking about it, but it's not exactly like that. It's a little bit more traditional. And talking about prophets, he is the prophet of this change, okay? And what he thinks is very important for us, I think. Our creativity is not only in advertising, but in art, talent, musicians, photographers, film directors, food, technology, okay? I think that if we want to go further and beyond the limits of crisis, we have to think our industry as a whole bunch of stuff. And all is interesting, okay? It's not just finding in a very rational way the new strategy to succeed, but also to open, to cross talents, to cross technologies, to cross savoir-faire, okay? And I think this person has a lot to teach us. Okay, so my third rule is simple as that. Go where nobody wants to go, okay? For the examples, go to the no-go zones. Okay, kick-ass youth. This is another important chapter of the recent history of Europe and France in particular. You all know about the refugee crisis, huh? And the fact that, for example, Paris has changed a lot because we have thousands and thousands of people that are like living in the streets and changing people's habits. So, I mean, I just wanted to told you about this young couple of creatives, Gauthier Fage and Julien Lebon. They came out with an idea to talk about refugees for the last Cannes Youth Advertising Festival in 2016. And I'm going to show it to you because it's super powerful and has something to teach us. Okay, so, I mean, it was, I took this part of interview on Adweek. Did you get any sleep at all during those 2 days? Not a lot. The problem was that we had found a concept that we both liked, but we knew right away that it would be very difficult to film in Cannes. We had spent the whole week before the competition repeating to ourselves that finding a simple visual idea that would be easy to film was the key to winning. And of course, we came up with the opposite. So we had this concept and only a little bit of time left. We had no other choice but to deal with it. Okay, so this is, for me, this is the story of our lives as advertisers. We keep on finding for the right ideas, and then they came, but at the very last minute. Okay, it doesn't mean that we don't have still time to do something great, because they won the competition, and they have done this film in 48 hours with, I mean, by themselves. Huh? So my fifth rule is don't sleep. If you have a good idea, even if it's the last moment, if it's just a few hours before you have to present it, please do something, do a video, do a presentation, and you're gonna sleep after, okay? Organic comics, 6th chapter. Okay, I wanted to present you, I mean, I imagine you know him, Action Bronson, very famous hip-hop artist of Brooklyn. His mother is Christian Armenian, father is Muslim. It's a very, I mean, it's a sort of, I would say is the lively identity of Brooklyn for the time being. Huh? And he says something like, that's right, I eat right out of the motherfucking pot, fuck a spoon, that kind of quotes. I wouldn't say that he's not the perfect French gourmet, okay? And then imagine some very creamy French cheese and put it together with Action Bronson, and you're gonna have it that.
Just breathe, breathe. May, you gotta try this, son. Come here.
You guys are too excited. I don't believe it.
I just did something I never did, and I would like you to do the same.
Just close your eyes and breathe. Close your eyes and breathe.
Oh my God. I'll see you guys. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Eat it. Just put it in your mouth. Just put it in your mouth. Just eat it.
Eat it outside, on the block.
Just eat it. Come on, just eat it.
Just
eat it. Just eat it.
I want to.
Just eat it.
I want.
Can you eat it?
Did you eat that shit? Disgusting, son. I don't know, man. That shit is said wild, man. Shit is wild. Shit is wild. Tastes like a burnt shoe. Nobody's gonna lie to me.
Okay, so for me, the fact that you don't know something doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have to try it. That maybe, I mean, it's gonna be fun, maybe a little bit less. I just wanted to talk to you about les ignorants, okay? This, the ignorance. You know, French love for comics. We have a huge festival at Angoulême every year that is probably the most important in the world. And this year I came on this new bande dessinée, as we call it, and it's the story of a crossed initiation, okay? And it's as simple as this little conversation. If I understand you, in order to write your comic book, you want to work for free in my vineyard. Also, I want you to teach me what goes on in the cellar, and I like to go wine testing with you. In exchange, you will discover the world of comics. I will bring you books. We will meet authors and wine growers. So it's 150 pages of crossed learning between someone that is, I mean, an expert of French wine and cellars and wine growers, and an expert, I mean, a star of comic books. And the result, I tell you, is super interesting, super interesting. And it's exactly the same when you have an hip-hop singer and French cheese coming together. What I want to say is just acknowledge your ignorance, okay? We are not expert in everything. It's very important, and it's more and more true. I'm not probably for the moment a data expert, but I'm keen to learn, okay? And I think that we all have to be exactly like that. All the voids, all the problems in sectors of our activity that we have, we can feel them. We can feel them, and it's just in a way with empathy, by knowing each other, by going to what is different, okay? And I'm coming to the last chapter. Okay, je suis Charlie. I'm not gonna be long on that because I'm sure you all know, and I mean it's quite famous now in a very negative way. But what is important is just that France teach to the world in the last years that it's very important to stay satirical, to keep a little distance from ourselves, to do not take ourselves, our convictions, our political convictions, our religious convictions too seriously, okay? That said, I just wanted to show you, to present you a YouTuber, a very famous French YouTuber that is called Squeezie. And you know we are in election period, and so of course we are all waiting to know if Trump is going to be president or not. What Squeezie has done is quite simple. He replayed a very old video game where the gamer impersonate a bodyguard that is trying to save the president. And what he does is that he's a very famous gamer, so he is very good. But this time, I don't know why, every time he tries to save Trump, he fails.
C'est parti, deuxième niveau. Monsieur Trump, c'est en danger. Si que tu vas mourir comme ça, je vole ses cheveux et je les mets moi. On a bien besoin. Non! Non! Oh non! Mais comment on fait? La vraie action maintenant.
So, I mean, millions of views, and honestly, it deserves it. So, 7 and last rules: be irreverent. don't take yourself too seriously, okay? Don't take yourself too seriously. It's a universal truth. As long as we stay concentrated, focused on ourselves, it's very difficult to keep distance and to achieve a successful campaign. Talking of what, I've done that at Ogilvy before being in McCann, this campaign for Coca-Cola. And when I left Coca-Cola, my creatives has done a very interesting greeting cards. It was that. So don't take myself too seriously. So be quick and dirty, be visionary, be fearless, go where nobody wants to go, don't sleep, acknowledge your ignorance, be irreverent, and let your soul stand cool and composed before 1,000,000 universes. That's it. Merci. Questions? Yeah.
Hi.
Ah, you promised to do a question, and you're
yeah,
keeping
I did
your...
last night I told you I'm going to do one, so here it is. Thank you for sort of like letting us into your core sensibilities, and in a way we kind of feel like we've unraveled you in a way. I guess that was the intention. But what I wanted to ask you was all of these suggestions or all these advices you give us, pieces of advice, they kind of seem to me a bit, I don't know, distant from the point of view of our market or our clients. So I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to figure out whether this is something particularly you've noticed in your environment that you can do and you're going with it, or whether you feel like knowing other markets that this is possible there as well.
I think it's. I mean, thank you. It's a very good question. That's why I was ironical on the golden rules, because of course they are not golden rules. It's a sort of, inspiration that I try to keep alive. I know that all markets are very difficult, and I would say it depends on the kind of relationship that you can try to build with your client. Okay, it's not a question of market for me. It's more a question of, humanity. If you can build, and it's for me the best example is Burger King. Okay, it's a Buzzman campaign. I know exactly how Buzzman deal with Burger King clients. They talking every day. And they are together. It's not the distance is that we don't think that we are all together in this very strange struggle to find the right solution for every problem or for every challenge that we have. Okay, but if we build up a relation of trust, of confidence, then everything is possible. Okay, and I think also that there is a second very important point, and it's the homemade attitude. Okay, most of the things that I have showed to you are homemade. It's no money, no. It's like proactive. It's something that you can do even with. And then you can go and see the client and tell him, hey, I have this great campaign, I have this great idea, we have done it. Okay, let's go for it together. Okay? It answers, or no? Sort of, but tell me if you're not... No,
I think in line with like ideology of everything's possible, and like just all of this is kind of putting aside the fact that some of these environments don't actually reward the worker enough. So for you, I sort of see as if you're speaking from a perspective of sort of a person who has enough, the salary sort of, enough of the salary. Well, let me phrase it this way. Mm-hmm. I feel that these are sort of like neoliberal lines of thoughts, in a way, like just everything is possible, whereas in this world, accepting that some things are not possible are relevant enough. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is yes, you can try to go beyond and be radical and try other things, but also like accepting the limitations of your market might actually be a way to reach efficiency and be successful. So.
Yeah. No, it's very, I mean, what you're saying is true. Then I think that the markets are changing and evolving, and there is more also listening to local little markets. So the fact of being local, of trying to have, initiatives that are related very strongly with the local identities can create then a more powerful PR effect, let's say. Okay? Any other question? So then, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.